These are two Australians who started the same job, on the same day, on the same salary. And 35 years later, one of them retired $1.4 million ahead of the other. Neither man was smarter, and neither man worked harder, because the entire difference between them comes down to 1.3% a year, and the job hopping versus loyalty decision that most people make without ever running the numbers. This is the comfort trap. Career economists call it the salary compression trap. Let's open the case file. The investigation begins inside a small office in Melbourne, where two graduates start work on the same morning. Meet Ben, and across the office, meet Alex. Both are 25, both are junior project coordinators, and both are starting on $70,000 a year. Both of them also receive 12% superannuation. Because in this country, that isn't a decision anybody makes. Their employer pays it, whether either man ever thinks about it or not, and I want you to hold on to that, because by the end of this file, it matters more than anything else in it. The conditions are locked. Same role, same super fund, same investment option. Same 7% return, same retirement age of 60. Only one variable is allowed to move, and it isn't talent or effort or luck. It's whether either man ever finds out what he's actually worth on the open market. For the first few years, their paths run so close together you couldn't tell them apart. Then one ordinary afternoon, Ben's phone lights up, and a recruiter tells him a larger company has been watching his work and wants exactly the experience he spent 5 years building. That night, the offer sits open on the kitchen table, and Ben reads it twice because he likes where he works, and his manager has always backed him, and his friends are all there. Leaving feels uncomfortable, which is normally what growth feels like. Across the city, Alex is finishing another good week. His manager thanks him for another strong year, and Alex smiles because this place feels familiar and there is real value in that. Ben takes the offer. Alex stays. Both decisions make complete sense, and that is exactly what makes this case worth investigating. Now here is where most videos would lie to you. Most videos would tell you Ben wins because strategic job hopping pays more, and the evidence simply does not say that. An analysis of the Hilda survey, covering 16,175 Australian full-time workers since 2001, found that the median annual wage growth for people who changed jobs was essentially identical to the median for people who stayed put. What separated them wasn't the middle of the distribution, it was the edges. Job switchers had a far wider range of outcomes in both directions. Read that again, because it undoes most of what you've been told. Strategic job hopping isn't a higher return strategy at all, it's a higher variance one. And the difference between those two things is enormous. Some people move and their pay jumps. Others move and go backwards. Ben is not the average outcome here. Ben is a good outcome, and it matters that you know the difference. The premium also comes and goes with the economy, which almost nobody mentions. According to the Atlanta Fed's wage growth tracker, switchers were pulling 8.5% against 5.9% for stayers at the peak in July 2022. By early 2025, that gap had collapsed to 4.8 against 4.6. And by February 2025, stayers were actually ahead, 4.1 against 4.0. In a hot labor market, moving pays. In a cold one, it doesn't. Everyone who told you to always be job hopping was describing 2022, and they mistook a moment for a law of nature, which raises the obvious question: if switching isn't the mechanism, then what is? Here's the clue. It was never the moving, it was the pricing. Every time Ben moved, somebody in a room somewhere had to decide what he was worth on the open market and put a number on it. Career economists call this resetting your market value. And an offer is a number, and a number is a verdict. Ben collected a verdict every few years. Alex never once asked for one. What Ben was actually doing, whether he knew it or not, was practicing salary negotiation, the single most underleveraged skill in personal finance. Alex's raises came from inside the building, and internal raises track the average, because that's what averages are for. The ABS Wage Price Index has private sector wages growing at roughly 3.2% in the year to December 2025, and Alex is compounding at 2.5%. Which puts him slightly below the market without ever doing a single thing wrong. That's the salary compression effect in practice. Your pay quietly falls behind the market rate while your performance reviews stay perfectly green. That's Alex's entire story, and it matters that you understand he isn't lazy and he isn't bad at his job. He's average, and average is the trap, because the trap never feels like a trap while you're standing in it. Watch how small it starts. By 26, Ben is on $72,660 and Alex is on $71,750. The gap between them is $910. $900. That's the entire comfort trap in year 2. You could not build a documentary around $900 because nobody on earth reorganizes their life over $900, which is precisely why it works. Ben's first months in the new role are harder than he expected because yesterday everyone knew his name and today he's starting over. For a while he genuinely questions the move, and then slowly the uncomfortable becomes familiar and the unfamiliar becomes experience, what career researchers call building career capital. The accumulated skills and credibility that compound like interest over a working life. Back at the original office, Alex is promoted too, and he's proud, and he should be, because he has built something genuinely valuable. It's just something the market never got the chance to price. By 34, Ben is on $97,921, Alex is on $87,420, and the gap has widened to $10,500. $10,000 after an entire decade, still small enough to ignore. The trap is patient, and that's its whole design. By 40, both men reach the same title. Project manager. Same job, different number. And now something mechanical takes over. Every raise you ever get starts from your current salary, which means a bigger salary today creates bigger raises tomorrow, forever. A pay rise changes this year. A higher base changes every year that follows it. Every negotiation, every promotion, every percentage increase, they all start from a new number, and Ben's number keeps getting larger. Human capital theory describes this precisely. Your accumulated skills and experience are an asset, and like any asset, it can be underpriced. Alex's career capital was never marked to market. But here's the part that's uniquely Australian, and it's the part the American version of this story can never tell you. Ben doesn't have to do anything at all, because 12% of a bigger number is a bigger number, automatically, forever. His employer does it for him every single payday, without either of them thinking about it. In their final working year, Ben's employer contributes $29,853 to his super. Alex's contributes $19,449. Ben banks $10,404 more per year. Without lifting a finger or making a single decision, and from the 1st of July this year, under the new payday super rules, that lands in his account every payday. Alex never chose to save less. The system chose for him, based on a number he never questioned. Years later, Alex receives a LinkedIn message from a recruiter. He opens it, reads it, and looks around the office at the same desk, the same coffee mug, and the same people who became close friends somewhere along the way. His manager walks past and says good morning. Alex smiles, and then he locks his phone without ever opening the number. That's the moment. Not the staying, the not looking. The refusal to test his market value even once. And honestly, for him, that might even be the right call. Hold that thought. Then 35 years quietly disappear. The deadlines, the meetings, the ordinary Mondays, and one day they simply stop. Ben packs the coffee mug that followed him from office to office. Across the city, Alex places his security pass on the desk and looks around one last time at the people who welcomed him as a graduate and became lifelong friends. He didn't just build a career there, He helped build the company itself. Two men, two careers either of them could be proud of, and that's exactly why the final numbers matter. Take a moment and let them sit. Ben finishes on $248,776. Alex finishes on $162,073. Across their working lives, Ben earned $4,953,000 and Alex earned $3,844,000, which is a lifetime earnings gap of $1,108,000. Their super tells the same story more quietly, with Ben retiring on $1.96 million and Alex on $1.66. A gap of $304,000 that neither of them ever chose. Put those together, and the difference is $1,412,000. Same job, same start, same super, same everything, separated by 1.3% a year. And now the honest part, because most videos would stop right there and let you believe Ben simply won. If Ben invested even a slice of that extra $1.1 million he earned along the way, the gap clears $2 million comfortably. But that's a choice, and a choice is an assumption. And the moment you start assuming how somebody spends their money, you can make this number say almost anything you want it to. Watch. Change nothing except the lifestyle I assume they both live. Same careers, same salaries, same returns. Assume they live on $60,000 a year and the gap is $960,000. Assume $55,000 and it becomes $1.7 million. Assume $45,000 and it's $1.92 million. Anybody who quotes you a wealth gap without showing you that dial is selling you something. That's why this file stops at 1.4. It's the only number that doesn't require you to believe anything. So what's the verdict? It isn't always leave, because the evidence doesn't support it. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. The median switcher and the median stayer land in almost exactly the same place. And switching is a wider bet rather than a better one. The verdict is narrower than that and harder. Your salary isn't what you're worth. It's what you last agreed to. Alex agreed once, at 25, and never reopened the conversation. Ben reopened it every few years, and while he happened to do it by leaving, he could have done it by asking. Salary negotiation isn't just a skill for job interviews, it's the core mechanism behind everything this file just showed you. Ben built a career that kept getting repriced. Alex built a career many people would be proud of, stable and trusted and respected, and $1.4 million behind. Both paths created real value. Only one of them ever asked what that value was. So now you're 25 and your phone lights up with a new number and a bigger opportunity and one decision in front of you. But the real question isn't whether you stay or go. It's when you last found out what you're worth. The verdict is yours. Would you take Ben's path or Alex's? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe, because next time we'll open another case file.